Hello hello เข้ามาหรือยังสักครู่นะฮะ alright good นะครับพร้อมยังเดี๋ยวพี่เช็คเสียงก่อนนะครับอันนี้สกรีนได้เนาะเสียงดังฟังชัดนะครับ alright okay so today yeah so for the first half for today class we have to cover for the two questions type for two questions first, right? I'm going to let you see for the first question first. All right, wait a second. This one, right? So some people are actively involved in promoting and supporting a cause such as the release of international political prisoners, right? Prisons, actually, and protecting the environment. Okay, so basically you have to say something such a conceptual knowledge or let's say the statement that can be referred to international political prisoners or protecting such environment here. So you can see you can mention for two aspects here. The first one is that international release, international prisoners, or even protecting such a good environment here, right? Is there any cause you actively support? I'm going to say that you can choose whether you want to say something about international political prisoner, or even you can take an action or support your standing point for protecting or preserving such a good environment in our global world society here, right? So what you need to do is that you have to plan, right, for your speech here and try to convince other listeners or let's say like those audiences to understand what you are going to stand for the active support here, right? Do you understand for this question, right? Okay. And I'm going to give you for 5 minutes just because I think that a little bit detail and we have to research a bit in order to make sure that the detailed discussion here might go straight forward to the right direction, right? Okay, I'm going to let you for 5 minutes and then if you're ready, turn on the microphone here.
โอเค To me, there is a cause that I actively support at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
The action that I support recently is about to manage the waste at the right trash bin. Yeah. As you can see nowadays, there are several types of trash can in Bangkok. For example, like yellow trash can for recycle trash, and for example, like the red trash can for the trash that is dangerous. Yeah. The reason that I support this action is because it can help people who manage the waste to have an easier job to do. Moreover, we once we separate the trash by ourselves, the the ones who need to deal with the trash can do their work more effective, and it will help our environment to get better sooner.
Mm-hmm. I see. Good. Right. So, well, I think that lots of courses that can be done to do support, right, or actively support these kind of things. One of the most example that we can raise is that protecting environment. So, have you heard the terms of sustainable environment? What is kind of sustainability to preserve such environment in your opinion? Mhm.
Oh yeah. I have heard some about sustainable environment.
Mhm.
In fact, there are a lot of ways to do in order to achieve the sustainable environment,
Mhm.
and one of them is to separate the trash. Yeah, and they are more like not use energy when we don't need to use it. Yeah,
Mhm.
and
I see.
maybe we can also help environment by by doing some for example, like reuse or reject. Yeah.
Mhm. I see. All right. Thank you so much for your sharing. And I do understand that it's not it cannot be even start with cooperation with others, but we can start by our own. This is the first step that we can do for protecting environment here, right? So just because the action plan or even the possible solution is that we have to focus on those new generation to be volunteer, and then they might actively support this kind of like sustainable environment or try to preserve something to be better in the future, right? And also the way that we have to educate people to understand how important it is, how to preserve this kind of environment here, right? So my question is that between the two, the first one is that being volunteer to help or assist this kind of thing to become better, or even giving education or try to educating other people, which one is more important to you in your point of view here? Mhm.
From my perspective, I
Mhm.
think that both are important because
Yeah.
educating children will make them know that why they should act like that, and to to make them know by themselves is also important because many children nowadays don't give don't pay that much attention to the lesson. So unless they know the consequence of their action by
Mhm.
themselves, they will not
Mm.
act good to environment. Yeah, but if I need to choose one that is more important, I think that educating children is more important.
Mhm.
This is because it can make children know that why they should act like that, and some students may realize the fact that they should help environment. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Done, right? It's clarify and then explain about this kind of issue. So I think that you have done a great job for the first question here. So shall we move to the second part for today? It might be a little bit related to the medical research. So I think you have let's say like a deep knowledge on it, right? So just because the scenario here said that since the cloning of the shape Dolly, there has much debate, right? Has been much debate over whether or not human beings should be cloned. So many people feel that this is a violation of natural order of things, and that is our research in the area of human cloning should be banned or strictly restricted here, right? And others feel that it is a natural progression of science and human evolution, and that research in that area of human cloning should be prioritized or set such a first priority here. So to you, right, how do you feel about this issue or this problem happen? And then use specific reason and example to support your answer here. So actually, you have to differentiate between the two first. The first one is that the cloning should be banned or not. All right. And if you say that it should be banned, what is the reason why? Once you think that you disagree that it should be continued, right? We don't have to stop doing so. So it must be continued why we should do that. And you have to talk about more aspect on the natural progression or science related to human evaluation here, just because I think that it might be related to how do we have to continue or how do we have to stop cloning here. And then just say example from the, let's say, medical research or even experimental studies, let's say, right? Just because we have to see and clarify such a clear example to support your answer here, right? I think you might be interested in this question, and I'm going to give you for 5 minutes first. And if you're ready, you can turn on the microphone here. Yeah.
Okay. Um, for me, I strongly agree that we should we should be able to clone human. Um, Although some may argue that cloning human is wrong to ethic,
Mhm.
but for me, I think that ethic can be changed over time.
Mm.
The example for this is that once in once before once in Romanian age, um the ethics say that we shouldn't the ethic in medical field say that we shouldn't do any harm to the patient um and using the knife to cut patient body is wrong too. Yeah, but this ethic is changed over time. As you can see that now we do the surgery
Mm.
and we need to use the knife in order to cut the patient. Yeah, and we do this for them for good. Yeah. So
Mm.
I think this is the same case too that I think that once we successfully be able to clone human
Mm.
and can make benefit from it, I think that the ethics will be changed too, and it cloning human will be ethical. Yeah.
Mhm. So you support that doing cloning should be continued just because maybe some ethic it might take into consideration when it comes to doing a cloning such a human to anything else, right? But we have to understand that some kind of ethic here might be changed from time to time, right? So if it considers to do effective thing, right? Not just preventing from the bad thing. So it might be such a good an action to do so, right? But however, if it does harmful to the people or even a human, so it's against the law or any ethical issues here, so it might be stopped, right? So we have to wait between the two, which one is go further and which one is might cause some mistake in errors here, right? Okay, good. So I understand that just because this is a new one, right? Doing cloning or even like for some experimental studies, especially for medical research, right? Um, is that possible to do cloning in such a developing country, for example, Thailand country here?
Um, at this time, I think that many medical university try to try to clone human in
Mm-hmm,
secret.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, but as far as I know, at this time, the physicians still struck at the human that they clone die only in maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, yeah. In other words, they are not they don't have complete organ as human yet. Yeah.
I see. So basically, for the terms of human cloning, so it's for fertilization for a human who cannot even have any, something or the reproduction process. Is that right? So it's because it's straightforward to have like the next generation to be a human, but to those people, especially for those people who cannot even reproduce, their genetics or their offsprings later, so they might decide to do cloning instead of it. Am I correct?
Yes, and there are some cases that um that the patients
Mhm.
want to transplant organ. Yeah.
Ah, I
So
see.
they use the from people to donate their organ to them. For example, like kidney or maybe the cornea of the eyes. Yeah.
All right, so it might serve for further like exploratory research, or even we have to research more and more in order to make sure that it might serve the right people and the right action for this kind of study, right? Good. Thank you so much for your sharing. I have to say that it is quite new information for me, but you can share if you have like for more discussion detail or things that you have to come up or arising evidence for medical research here, right? So we can share and we can see how debatable issues or even how discussion topic part can be generalized more and more with a knowledge base here, right? Okay, good. Thank you so much for your sharing here. Done 2 ข้อแล้วนะฮะ move ไปทำข้อ 3 ต่อ all right, so I'm trying to allocate the core questions here with a different question type, just because we have to cover, right, all of information, and we have to debate a bit for some kind of different topic here, right? So you can see from this one, right, question number 3. So the question actually, many parents give children a weekly or a monthly allowance. Allowance means like money, right? Money or some kind of like weekly allowance or monthly here, regardless of their behavior, because they believe that an allowance teaches students to financially responsible. So here we have to focus on how to teach students to realize or understand financial responsibility, right? And other parents only give a student an allowance as a reward for completing course, right? Okay, and when they have behave properly, explain what you think parents should do and why. So the key question here is that teaching them to be responsible for financial responsibility, or even it just direct to what they did great, or they have a high commitment to those responsibility or achieve something here and properly behave something in appropriate way, so they're going to get a reward as a monthly or weekly allowance here. So what you need to do is that you have to say something from the first question, for the first aspect first. I think that teaching them to be financially responsible is a key aspect to live a life in the modern world too, right? Just because we've been living in hectic time, and lots of people may ruin their life just because they cannot even properly responsible for this kind of financial statement here. Another thing is that when it comes to talk about achieving on something, is that possible to pay, to giving them such a reward or even money in return? So any clarification we can support in order to make sure that this should be done or should not be done here, right? Okay, good. So it's a little bit detailed, so you have to prepare a bit for 5 minutes and then just turn on the microphone here.
Okay. Um, from my point of view,
Huh?
I think that parents should give children a weekly or monthly allowance, um, regardless of their behavior. The reason is that um, doing doing this will make their children to be to responsible to their money, and the children will be able to manage how to use their money effectively.
Mhm.
Yeah, but parents need to make sure that although the children spend their money their money too much in their in their first day in the month.
Mm.
Yeah, and they don't have enough money to use during the maybe last week of the month. In that case, I think that parents should 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 shouldn't give their children more money, so that the children will know that if they spend the money too much in their first week,
Mm.
they need to responsible for what. Yeah, and
So,
I think that this the drawback for giving children an allowance once they complete chore or maybe behave properly is that is that it will make children think it will make children think that
mhm.
when they just need to they just need to work more when they want money, and they will not
Um,
work when they don't want money.
it's look like
Yeah, and
condition, right? Do they have to do
I
so just because of money? Okay, good. Mhm.
yes, and yeah, and it will make children use their money all once they complete the reward, and the children will likely develop the idea that they don't need to save money, because when they run out of money, they can
Mm.
just go to complete their chore. Yeah, and
So,
in reality, the most of most of the work in our country is to pay monthly. Yeah, so I think it is better to teach children to spend spend their money by giving their allowance money monthly.
mhm. All right. Thank you so much for your sharing here, right? So I do believe that giving a weekly or monthly allowance can teach students financially responsible, and it's great for them to understand how to manage their money, right? How to become organized or disciplined in order to make sure that they're gonna save and spending just a proper amount of money in that return, right? However, for those students who got who did a very great job or even achieved something on that, I do believe that it is possible to give as a chance for the reward to them as a money or a chunk of money to them. But all in all, I would say that it must be reconsider about what they did. It must be like it's hard to get achieved, or even is not really easy to get it. So this kind of thing that I think it would share for some idea for this, right? Apart from this, I understand that some people say that saving money is a key to save a life in a later in maybe a later life or in the rest of our life. But some people say that spending money is a quite wise way. I mean, such a smart way to do so, just because we cannot even predict such an unpredictable or even unexpected situation happen. So they say that spending money is much better than saving money. How do you think about this? Do you agree or disagree with this statement? Mhm.
I um I completely agree with the statement you said earlier because um saving money is because saving money is important nowadays
Mm,
that that there can be an unexpected situation
mm,
at any moment. The good example for this is the COVID-19 situation.
yeah, uh-huh.
Um, al- Although you gain money every day and it is it is a lot. However, during the pandemic, you can always lose your job and and if you don't save your money, you will not have money to spend when you don't have a job. Yeah. So I think it is good to save money for some unexpected situation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it's good to hear from you, right? Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your sharing here, right? Anyway, it depends on each situation. So just because, like there are some people say that just spending money in that moment might be a key too, just because, like the unpredictable way, especially for, like the economic crisis or even sometime like financial, right? Or even I don't know what I can say. So sometimes the economic is not stable, it's unstable from time to time. So spending for just a moment to give a life for a better way, it might be a key more than saving money in the bank or saving money that we can use it for a future time, right? Okay, thank you so much for your sharing here. Good. So moving to the last question for today class, we're gonna have this kind of question, right? Okay, the last one is that many people volunteer their time to help others. Okay, volunteer, right? So the keyword is volunteerism or volunteer here, either through non-profit organizations, churches, or the charitable venues. So what you need to do is that you have to say or state convincing reader to find charity or volunteer at that time. What I would suggest for you is that you have to say the importance of charity or become one of philanthropic person, right? That you love sharing other thing to other or being a volunteer in that particular situation. Is that important to your life, such a community or society or not? And what can be done to do so? Is there anything that we have to take any action? Step one, step two, or step three? And how to convince other people to do so? Just because we have to generalize or make them realize that the benefit of volunteering in this way might be happen and it calls for the a good thing for society here, right? I'm going to give you for 5 minutes a bit, right? Okay, and then you can share your ideas here.
Okay. In my opinion, I think that the ways to convince people to find charity and volunteer their time is to to make them realize the benefit of them doing a charity. Yeah, for example, like maybe telling the leaders to know that giving a charity or maybe volunteer their time for other people will make other people have a better quality of life, and it will benefit them when when they uh, when they have a problem in later life. They will have this charity to help them. Yeah. So and other ways to define the benefit of giving a charity is that it can help it can help people it can help people to pay less tax rate than normal. Yeah, and many people do a charity because of this reason.
Mhm. I see. All right. So I'm going to talk about the benefit of doing volunteering or even giving a charity, right? So I would say that so when you talk about the benefit, right, the first one is that it's building such a good relationship or even a single community in a single place, right? So it might increase self-confidence or interacting with other people too. This is a key question to build a strong relationship or even interpersonal relationship with others too, right? And do you think doing volunteer can help mental disorder or even like those people struggling with mental issues and then they got involved with this kind of activity or even doing charity, volunteering with other things, right? Related, right? Is that help for those people who struggle with mental illnesses or even depression help? Mhm.
Um, I think this depend on the mental illness that they have.
Mhm.
If they have some illness like depression um, or some other disease that cause them to feel bad about themselves, I think doing a charity will help because it will make them realize that they can be benefit to other people and their existence is is good for many people. Yeah, and people with this symptom will realize that will realize that they are not um that they are not that they have benefit for other people. Yeah, but
Mhm.
if the kind of illness is about psychopath or things that they enjoy they enjoy to hurt other people, I think doing a charity will not help them. Yeah, they need to
Mhm.
find some other therapy.
So it depends on what types of mental illnesses that you mentioned, right? If those people who got socially isolated or involving with the depression, so I would say that gating or running through this kind of volunteering campaign or any kind of interactive activity might enhance their system to be better, or they can get involved with others people too, right? However, those kind of like psychological issues, for example, like those people who have um, mindset that is very bad or wrong settings, like say something wrong all the time. So we can prevent this kind of people to do so, right? Just because it might hurt other people too. Am I correct? Is that right? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for sharing here. เป็นไงบ้างครับวันนี้เยอะไหมเนี่ยชอบ
ก็
พูดข้อไหนบ้าง
ชอบข้อ3ครับ
ข้อสามคือข้อไหนเดี๋ยวนะเรามีแป๊บหนึ่งที่เราเช็คก่อน
อ๋อข้อ
ข้อหนึ่ง
เออ
ข้อหนึ่งโอเคปะ
ก็โอเคครับ
ข้อหนึ่งนี้น่าสนใจเป็นแนว activist แต่ว่าก็
ได้
ต้องพยายามฝึกพูด convince นะฮะเพราะในเวของ public speaking อ่ะจะเน้นinspirational speech กับ convincing speech ข้อสองโอเคเนาะได้ใช่ไหมฮะ ideas ข้อสามหลายยากไหมข้อสามก็น่าสนใจนะจริงๆ
ใช่ครับ
ข้อนี้ก็น่าสนใจนะเป็นเรื่องของ daily life เลยอันนี้ต้องคอนเสิร์ตแล้วก็ข้อสี่ก็จะเป็นในเรื่องของ charity volunteer activist พวกนี้นะฮะพี่ให้เราประเมินตัวเองคร่าวๆก่อนพี่จะดูว่าเราเป็นไงบ้าง fluency ผมเป็นไงบ้าง fluency กับ coherent
ก็คิดว่าดีนะครับยกเว้นแบบช่วงมันจะมีช่วงหนึ่งที่แบบผมคิดศัพท์ไม่ออกครับก็เลยแบบ
ไม่เป็นไร
ขัด
ไม่เป็นไรจริงพี่ก็พยายามทำ turn taking เนอะพี่ก็พยายามพูดไปด้วยนะฮะเราก็ต้องพยายามฟังอาจจะแบบไม่ใช่ perfect version แต่ว่า way การพูดเนี่ยมันจะ flow ประมาณนั้นการใช้ geron เปิด getting into หรือว่าแบบ considering from this aspect หรือว่าแบบ namely blah 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 พวกนี้เนี่ยก็จะมีผลไม่เป็นไรตามนั้นนะฮะโอเคส่วนที่สอง vocab ครับผมเพราะแต่ละเรื่องไม่เหมือนกันเลย
ก็คิดว่าโอเคนะครับแต่ว่าชอบใช้ศัพท์ซ้ำๆอยู่เหมือนกันครับ
อย่างด้วยความที่แบบมันเป็นท็อปิกที่หลากหลายใช่ไหมฮะอย่างเช่นตัวนี้เนี่ยผมรู้สึกว่าคำศัพท์โอเคไหมข้อหนึ่งก่อน
รู้สึกว่าก็พอโอเคนะครับ
แต่ว่าคำศัพท์ข้อสองเราจะโอเคขึ้นถูกไหมฮะเป็นในเรื่องของ
ใช่
learning กับ medical research แต่จริงๆแล้วตัวนี้มันก็จะเป็นศัพท์ technical term นะบางคนอาจจะไม่ค่อยเก็ตเท่าที่ควรก็เป็นได้แต่ไม่เป็นไรก็เป็น specific field ไปนะสามกับสี่ก็จะเป็นในเวของ econ ไปเนาะประมาณนั้นนะฮะแล้วก็ social study ไปwhat is that accuracy กับ grammar เป็นไงบ้าง
คิดว่าก็ไม่ไม่น่าผิดมากนะครับ
โอเคดีแล้วนะครับแต่ว่าถ้าพี่ฟังเราก็มีการใช้ grammar หมายถึงว่ามีการ arrange sentence ได้นะครับในส่วนของเช่นแบบlet's say ว่า adverb นะฮะ plus verb อะไรพวกนี้เนี่ยก็สำคัญนะฮะตัว adverb เนี่ยจะเป็นเขาเรียกว่า advanced speaking นะฮะ advanced speaking ก็ค่อนข้างต้องฝึกใช้เช่น politically efficiently effectively พวกนี้เนี่ยต้อง run ตลอดเหมือนกันนะฮะไม่น่ามีปัญหาสุดท้าย pronunciation ครับผม
ก็คิดว่าโอเคขึ้นนะครับ
flow ขึ้นแล้วใช่ไหมฮะกดดันไหมฮะพอเราเริ่มพูดไปบ่อยๆเป็นไงไม่ค่อยกดดันแล้วเนาะ
ได้ครับ
ก็พี่ก็รู้สึกว่าแบบโอเคแล้วทัมมิ่งในการเตรียมนี้ผมต้องคิดต้องแพลนยังไงเพราะว่ามันต้องคิดก่อนพูดอยู่แล้วนะฮะ
ก็เหมือนแบบคิดว่าจะพูดเรื่องอะไรบ้างคร่าวๆแล้วก็คิดสักเต็ปไว้
โอเควิธีการก็คือว่าเราก็อาจทำช็อตโน้ตนะฮะปกติแล้วเนี่ยเราก็จะทำแค่อันนี้พี่ไก่ให้รายการก็ทำแค่3 bullet point นะครับเพราะในตัวsorry ในแต่ละคำถามเนี่ยเราจะแตกได้ประมาณแค่3 ประเด็น2 ถึง 3 ประเด็นเท่านั้นเองนะครับแต่ถ้าเกิดว่าได้มากกว่านั้นก็ดีนะฮะก็เป็น long speech ไปแต่ว่าถ้าสังเกตแล้วเนี่ยมันจะเป็น contradict กัน let's say ว่าสมมุตินะฮะอย่างข้อเนี้ยข้อที่เป็นแบบ behavior เนี่ยเราอาจจะต้องพูดทั้ง way 1 way 1กับ way 2แล้วก็merge ถูกไหมฮะ A ก่อน B แล้วก็ปิดด้วย merge อันนี้เป็นการ plan ในเรื่องของspeech ฉะนั้นเนี่ย timing ในการ preparation เนี่ยต้องทำนะต้อง list ไม่งั้นแบบเราจะพูดออกไปแบบไม่ connect to each other มันก็จะยากนะฮะมันนี้ภาพรวมก็ไม่น่ามีปัญหาพี่คิดว่ามันก็ flow แต่ว่าต้องลองหลายๆเรื่องเพื่อดึงจุดที่ยากที่สุดก็คือ vocab นะฮะเพราะว่าvocab เนี่ยจะเป็น expression expression of daily use เนี่ยมันจะ daily use เนี่ยมันจะค่อนข้างจะยากนิดหนึ่งนะฮะต้องใช้ความคุ้นชินแล้วก็ฟังเยอะๆแต่ว่าที่เหลือไม่น่ามีปัญหานะฮะ alright so I think it's good นะประมาณนั้นวันนี้มีคำถามไหมวันนี้เราปิดเร็วก่อนนิดนึงเนาะ
ไม่มีครับ
โอเคนะเดี๋ยวเจอกันงั้นเจออังคารกับพฤหัสเวลาเดิมได้ใช่ไหมครับสำหรับเดือนนี้นะเดี๋ยวเดือนหน้าพี่ค่อยสล็อตบล็อกเวลาอีกทีหนึงครับผมสวัสดีครับบ๊ายบายครับ
พี่โดโดสวัสดีครับ